Hey y'all, I'm Rylan. Welcome to my channel. It is the night before New Year's Eve, and I am here with a reading vlog introduction because starting tomorrow, New Year's Eve at noon, or maybe a little bit earlier in my time zone, I am going to be doing a 24-hour readathon to kick off 2023 strong and end 2022 well. So I wanted to start my reading vlog tonight so I can pick out the books that I'm going to read or that I would like to read tomorrow. Will these be set in stone? No, but these are going to be books that I hope to read tomorrow / Sunday morning, which is New Year's Day. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pick out my books. I have no idea what I want to read. I have a general idea of what I'm going to go look at first. Most of them will probably be the new books that I got for my birthday / Christmas this year, which is all of this like stack that's sticking out in front of the row of books on this third shelf right here. So I'm gonna go look there first. I also have this bag of books that I brought with me for Christmas break, and I've only read one of them so far. So I need to read something from this bag. So I'm gonna look through here and figure out what I wanna read, but I'm probably going to primarily stick with romance, and I'll maybe add in one thriller. We'll see. But yes, I'm going to put on a time lapse while I figure out what I'm going to read. Then I'll come back here, talk about the books really fast, and then I'll update y'all tomorrow once the readathon actually starts. Okay, that was entirely too long of a time to spend staring at one little stack of books, but I think I finally have hopefuls for tomorrow / a part of New Year's Day. I picked mostly short / middle grade books because I think I will get through those faster. However, I might also switch over to Kindle stuff if I feel myself starting to lag and need a little bit of a pick-me-up, because I feel like I read a lot faster on my Kindle. So let's quickly go through the books that I picked out. We'll start with my middle grade stuff. I picked Winter House. I've had this one on my shelf for over a year, and I definitely need to read it because, yeah, it hasn't been read yet. This is a mystery book. There is a sequel, great. It's fine. Maybe I'll just borrow that from my library. But this one is about a hotel owned by a peculiar man or person or family. And the main character, Elizabeth, quickly discovers that Winter House has many charms. It is not long before she locates a magical book of puzzles that will unlock a mystery involving Norbridge and his sinister family. But as she uncovers the hotel's secrets, Elizabeth starts to realize that she is deeply connected to Winter House, as dangerous as that may prove to be. So that's the first book. Second, I am picking up I do plan to read this one. Gilda Joyce and the Ladies of the Lake. I recently read, as in like 3 days ago, the first book in this series, which is just called Gilda Joyce. I read that for a reading vlog, which hasn't come out yet, but hopefully soon. And I loved it, so I'm hoping to get to this one, or I plan to get to this one tomorrow. I honestly might start with this because it'll be nice and easy. Maybe I'll mix this in with one of my not middle grade books to help me, you know, stay motivated. And then I also got Huki, which is a graphic novel. I got this one recently. My friend Aylin purchased it. She hasn't read it yet, but she got it and it looked really cute. And I feel like it's something right up my alley. It's called, it's about two twins, one prophecy, and a whole lot of hijinks. And then moving on to my not romance, I guess. First, I have Tell Me Lies. This is a Hulu show on Netflix. Yeah, it kind of gives me After vibes, just in one book versus 5 or 6 that are, you know, this big each. Not quite sure what's about though, but I really want to watch the TV show, but I want to read the book first. And then my other non-romance is The School for Good Mothers. This came out early this year. I do have an arc of it, haven't read it yet, but this is about the state has its eyes on mothers like Frida, the ones who check their phones, letting their children get injured on the playground, who let their children walk home alone. Because of one moment of poor judgment, a host of government officials will now determine if Frida is a candidate for a big brother-like institution that measures the success or failure of a mother's devotion. So it's not like dystopian, but it's kind of like alternate universe type thing where mothers are judged on how they mother their children. It sounds like using dark wit to explore the pains and joys of the deepest ties that bind us, Chan writes a modern literary classic. Sounds great. This one has been anticipated for me. Yeah, so I'll be reading this one tomorrow. Hopefully, I might start with this and like go to Joyce, go back and forth, because I'm not sure I'll be able to read this one just in like one sitting. And then finally, moving on to my romance, I have 4. All of them look very short, minus kind of this one. But these first 2 books I actually got, I guess you can consider it for my birthday, which was yesterday, but I got them both today. Yikes. The first one I am so excited about. I found this at Half Price Books when I was selling like 40 or 50 books from my bookshelf. This is the Hello Lovely edition from their Halloween box this year. It's signed by the author. It's 2 novellas in one. And I was so excited to find this. I knew I recognized it from somewhere, and it definitely gave me book box vibes, but I had to like flip open to the like content or the copyright info page to figure out that it was from Hello Lovely. So that's super exciting. I am very much looking forward to reading this one tomorrow. I might tab it. I just think that the cover is stunning. These are monster romances, I believe. So we're getting a little bit spicy tomorrow. This is probably, well, no, I guess I have read some Katie Robert monster stuff, but this is something that I'm very new to still, but this cover is just so cute. Like, it's adorable. I love it. So I had to pick it up when I was at Half Price for a great price, for a signed book, for a special edition signed book. So I'll be reading this one tomorrow. It's not very long. It's barely 200 pages, so it shouldn't be too bad. Plus, it's 2 books in one, so that always helps. And then I also I'm on a little trend here. It's called I'm in Love with Mothman. Never heard of this before, but the cover is so adorable. Like, I love it. So this one says, 22-year-old Heather is suffering from an epic case of burnout. So just like any other young influencer, she abandons her social platforms, gathers up her best flowery dresses, and moves to a desolate cabin. With no help from her internet followers and the local monster hunter growing suspicious, Heather's quiet life in the wilderness has suddenly become a little more complicated. To make matters worse, she thinks she might be falling in love with the brooding winged man in her living room. I just think that this cover is stunning. This is an indie romance. I love finding indie authors at my local bookstores, especially, I don't know, I feel like it's more exciting when they're at chain bookstores, only because I feel like that shows some sort of acknowledgement for indie authors. There's not just all the traditionally published authors being sold there, but also some indie ones. I will say I wish that there were more, but I did get excited to see this one at Barnes & Noble today, picked it up. I wouldn't have, but it's not on Kindle Unlimited. At least it wasn't when I checked earlier today before I bought the book. So I just went ahead and grabbed it while I was there because it sounds really good. And if I don't love it, then I'm sure somebody else would love to take it off my hands if I list it on my Pango or something like that. Again, this is not a long book. It is 250 pages, so it shouldn't take me too long to get to. And so the final book that I have on my hopefuls list for tomorrow is Sinners Anonymous. I'm pretty sure I added this to my wish list purely based off a single reel that I did on Instagram with like the aesthetic of this book. So I got it naturally, purchased it based off one little video, but I believe that this is Mafia ? It definitely gives off those vibes. Pretty sure it's Mafia romance. We'll figure out more tomorrow. It sounds like, or looks like they're Italian, maybe Italian Mafia. No idea though. I'll let you all know more whenever I start this one, if I end up starting it for this vlog, which hopefully I will. So yeah, those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books that I hope to read during the 24-hour readathon. I might not get to all of them, that's okay. This mostly just gives me options of things I might want to reach for because my mood will change like that. Who knows what I'll be interested in when I wake up in the morning. But yeah, those are just options that I have to pick up throughout the day. I do hope to stay up. I'm gonna regret it, but I do hope to stay up for most of the night tomorrow and read. I feel like I say that all the time and it never actually happens, but we're gonna try. Hopefully tomorrow is just a very productive reading day and I can get a lot done during the day so I don't feel bad about sleeping for a couple of hours. Yikes. But yeah, so those are all the books that I have potentially picked out for tomorrow to read. I will hop back on early-ish tomorrow to give a initial update right as the readathon is starting, let you know what I decided to go with first in case my mind changes from what I mentioned about starting with this bad boy. Yeah, so I'll talk to y'all later. This was a very long intro. I apologize, but I just took too long to pick out the books that I wanted to read for this vlog. So I'll talk to y'all again tomorrow as we start off our New Year's Eve readathon. Okay, y'all, it is almost 11 a.m. and I think I'm going to start the readathon an hour early because my family has plans for basically right after the readathon is over tomorrow on New Year's Day. So I'm starting a little bit early, but here's the plan. So I ended up finding the audiobook for The School for Good Mothers. Thankfully, it was available on my library's Hoopla. So I downloaded that and plan to listen to the audiobook for this one, just to help me be able to get some different media in my readathon TBR, so that way I don't get burnt out by hour 7 or 8. So have the audio for this, going to start this right now, or when I start the readathon, as I go eat my food for lunch. And then I also will be starting Gilda Joyce and the Ladies of the Lake. This is the second book in this fun middle grade series. It's mystery, paranormal kind of, all of that fun stuff. So I have also decided that I'm going to update this vlog hopefully every 4 hours. And this could get a little tricky when I inevitably end up falling asleep. But I do hope to stay up later than normal to get some more reading done. So depending on if my family goes out to eat, my first update after this will probably be a little bit before or after 3 o'clock, but we'll see what ends up happening with that. So these are my first 2 plans. Hopefully I can finish at least Gilda Joyce. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe that's too ambitious to do in 4 hours. But yeah, this is my first set of books I'll be reading. I'll update y'all in 4 hours, give or take, or plus or minus, whatever. Yeah, with an update, and we'll chat some more then. It is not quite 3 o'clock yet, but I wanted to do a vlog update now because we're getting pizza soon, and I'll be eating for a minute. So it has been about 3.5 hours since I started my New Year's Eve readathon, and I have read 106 pages of The School for Good Mothers and 97 pages of Gilda Joyce, The Ladies of the Lake. So read about 200 pages so far, not bad at all. I feel like I've been reading nonstop and I haven't made as much progress as I thought I was going to, I guess, within this first several hours of the readathon. But I do think that maybe I could finish Gilda Joyce by the time I update again at 7-ish, but I'm not holding myself to that. Yikes. So The School for Good Mothers it's literary fiction, I believe technically, but it's about this mom named Frida who is sent to a school for mothers who have neglected their kids, abandoned their kids, some of them for even like the tiniest of infractions. They are sent to this school that's secluded where they have to go through this training for like a year to potentially be able to get their children back. I don't know if this is like dystopian or like an alternate reality, but it's terrifying what these moms have to go through here. Like, I'm not a mom, but I want to be someday, and this is just scary to read. But I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm really enjoying the audiobook and cannot wait to continue with the book. I'm like 35% of the way through, so hopefully we'll finish it before midnight. And then this one, Gilda Joyce and the Ladies of the Lake, is the second book in this series about Gilda. This time she has been accepted into this private all-girls school on scholarship, and there is a mystery there surrounding this girl that died or that drowned in the lake 4 or 5 years before. So Gilda is determined to figure out what's going on because all these things keep happening at the school, and she wants to figure out the truth and what's going on with the girl who passed away. So those are these two books. Enjoying both of them very much. Hoping to finish one of them before my next update so I can start a romance, but we'll see. Yeah, I'll update y'all again at 7 o'clock with any more progress that I have. Hopefully we've got a bunch, but we shall see. It is just past 7 o'clock and I literally just finished reading Gilda Joyce and the Ladies of the Lake. Gave this book 5 stars. It's nothing groundbreaking, but I truly do love this series, and I'm really glad that I decided to reread it after not having read it since early high school, late middle school. I don't exactly remember, but it's definitely been years. So gave this book 5 stars, loved all the spooky vibes, loved the cover of this book. Our protagonist, Gilda Joyce, she is just so entertaining, and I love getting to get all of her inner thoughts and yeah, follow her on her adventures. Not much to say, not a ton more to say in The School for Good Mothers since I did my last update, but I am at almost 50% of the book now. I'm not sure if this bookmark is updated to where I am in the audiobook. It might be, but it also might not be. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, still enjoying it. I have read a little bit since my first update a couple hours ago, but I'm hoping to finish this book tonight. And I also need to start another romance, or I want to start a romance, but I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna go with. So for a little bit, I'm going to take a break from like reading physically and just focus on this audiobook, maybe go get some food. I feel like I've been eating a lot today, but I'm kind of hungry again. Yeah, while I continue to listen to the audiobook for this, and then I'll hop back in here at 11 p.m. And do another update, and hopefully I'll have finished this book. My goal is to finish this book before New Year's Day, before midnight. I might also actually end up reading the graphic novel that I have on my TBR or like my potentials list for this readathon. That way I can finish 2 more books for the year, but I'm gonna focus, I think, on this one first, actually make some really good progress in the audiobook before figuring out if I want to pick up a short romance next or my graphic novel. So that's all that I have for now. I'll update y'all in like 4 hours. Hopefully I'm still awake. I should be awake at 11 o'clock. And yeah, we'll chat some more. All right, y'all. I am actually about to go to sleep, which is why I look like this. It is almost midnight, so I'm definitely a little bit late on my next vlog update, but I do have progress that I will probably expand upon more tomorrow. First, I did finish The School for Good Mothers, gave this book 3 stars. Overall, like, really enjoyed it. It was definitely terrifying in the way that like this is a potential, like this could have been a reality, but the ending just kind of really confused me, so I gave it 3 stars. I also did get to read the first book in this Hello Lovely edition of Claws and Cubicles. The first book, I don't know, it was called Love, Laugh, Lick? I don't know. Some monster being paranormal person thing. 74 pages, gave it no rating. I don't really know how you rate a book like this or a novella like this. So as of right now, no rating. If I do end up giving it a rating though, it'll probably just be 2 or 3 stars. Nothing super impressive in my opinion, but that was another 74 pages read. So we love to see it. And I love this edition from Hello Lovely. Before I do fall asleep, I do hope to start listening to my next audiobook, which is going to be For Winter House by Ben Guterson. This is a middle grade book. Not quite sure what it is about aside from like what I read off the back of the book yesterday, but I'm hoping that I can wake up at 6:30 or 7 a.m. tomorrow and finish the audiobook for this. At the rate that I listen to my audio, especially as this one is in middle grade, I anticipate finishing it in like 3.5 hours. So hopefully I can listen to a solid 30 minutes tonight and then finish it up in the morning before the readathon ends and I have to go do stuff for New Year's Day. So pretty good progress so far. I've read almost 700 pages, I want to say, between Gilda Joyce, The School, and Claws and Cubicles. So not too bad. I anticipate this being the last book that I read before the readathon is over, which is totally fine. I was just glad to pick a lot of books for the option of having them. That way I had different genres and stuff for whatever mood I ended up being in today. So I'm gonna go to sleep. I am tired and I'm gonna start this audiobook before I do fall asleep. And I'll update y'all tomorrow. If not, probably not when I first wake up because there's not gonna be a ton to say. So probably at the end of the readathon, to be honest. So I'll talk to you all later. Here's the deal. 24-hour readathons and I apparently just don't get along because after my last update last night, I started listening to Winter House. Don't remember any of it. I'm gonna restart the book today. But I listened to that, fell asleep, and slept for 9 hours, even though I had 4 or 5 alarms set to go off at like 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. this morning. So I read for the first 12 hours of the 24-hour readathon. That's great. I read over 700 pages during those 12 hours, so definitely a win. I did finish 3 books during that time, so I started 2023 with no current reads, which is great. So yeah, this is my final clip for this reading vlog. The vlog has been, or the readathon has been done for like 4 hours now, 4.5 hours now technically, and I'm just now getting around to doing my final update because I've been out and about doing things. But to give a final quick recap, I read The School for Good Mothers. I had an arc of this one. It came out in January of 2022, came out a year ago, and I gave this book 3 stars. I'll have the trigger warnings for it in the comments or the description down below. I also read Gilda Joyce and The Ladies of the Lake. Gave this one 5 stars, a very fun middle grade. Then I also read the first novella in Claws and Cubicles, which I ended up rating this one and I gave it 2 stars. It wasn't anything really at all. So that's what I read for the readathon. I did read almost all day yesterday, so that was awesome. I read 734 pages, I believe, which we love to see. So that concludes this reading vlog, ringing in the new year, hopefully on a high note as I pick my first book, which is going to be Winter House. Hopefully it's cute. This is kind of a series, I believe. I know that there's at least 2 more books, so hopefully I'll enjoy this one and maybe I'll binge the second 2. I love middle grade, so I have high hopes for it. And there's illustrations in this book. I love it. Anyway, that is all I have for this reading vlog. Happy New Year. Thanks for watching and I'll see y'all in the next video.